going to be watching a video called The Bank Robbery That Changed American Policing Forever. I have never been arrested. I will never be arrested. I will never be caught. So let's check it out. I'm grabbing my chair.
On the morning of February 28th, 1997, a fleet of news helicopters rushed to a bank in an otherwise quiet neighborhood of northern Los Angeles.
Uh-oh. Don't go to LA.
Pointed their cameras toward the parking lot below, broadcasting live to millions of people.
Unreal, heavily armed men
Me too.
firing away with no apparent fear or care for human life.
On the ground, a routine bank heist was turning into one of the most violent.
Routine bank heist. This be happening routinely in LA? Yeah, let's check the schedule. We got a bank heist at 2. Yeah, that's normal.
Shootouts in American history. 2 bank robbers were engaged in heavy gunfire against hundreds of LAPD officers.
Hundreds? No. Okay, this is gonna be a battle for the ages.
They were outnumbered badly, but they were not outgunned.
Okay, so they got the robots, like maybe they are also guts.
The bank robbers came armed with multiple fully automatic rifles, thousands of high-caliber rounds, and enough body armor to render the LAPD's weapons virtually useless.
Huh?
That morning, they turned
They got armor lock? Oh, hell no.
Los Angeles into a war zone, altering the course of American policing forever.
It's like a movie. Here, I'll help. Freeze!
Larry Phillips Jr. came
Not Barry Phillips Jr. Let's get it right.
from a long line of criminals. His grandfather robbed trains. His father robbed graves.
You could say he trained them and all he knows.
And in the years to come, he would become one of the most infamous bank robbers in American history. But his criminal career didn't start with high-profile heists.
Started the
In
gym?
1984, after dropping out of high school, Larry began training to become a bodybuilder at Gold's Gym in Pasadena.
Oh my god. Put the gun down!
But he quickly realized he didn't have the genetics to compete at the highest level, and began looking for a new path. To look the part of a successful businessman, Larry tried to steal some suits, but he was arrested.
Well, I mean, I guess they patched that. I guess you gotta buy them.
Once out of jail, he earned a living as a real estate agent, but he couldn't resist easy money. So occasionally, he ran small property scams to defraud his clients. But the real turning point in his criminal career likely happened back at Gold's Gym.
What did he do? He set off the lunk alarm. Oh no, that's a fate worse than death. Evil Larry, you gotta stop.
Where presumably, he met his partner in crime.
Who?
Emil Matasareanu.
Huh? Wait, how do I get a cool name like that?
Immigrated from Romania to Los Angeles in 1976. Born with a rare heart condition.
Nah. We straight up pointing and laughing. This is diabolical. I would turn out evil too.
Exercising was practically impossible. In my high school, he weighed 350 pounds. The relentless bullying made him bitter, withdrawn, and angry.
Well, don't be a Twitch streamer because all you guys do is bully me. I'm gonna start robbing banks.
But in 1989, Emil set out to lose some weight and signed up to Gold's Gym in Pasadena, the same gym where Larry trained. It's unclear if this is really where they first met, but whatever the case, Larry saw something in Emil. For one, they both shared a passion for firearms.
Nah. They also both liked killing and robbing and stabbing and murder.
And although Larry had more experience in this department, Emil showed a growing interest in crime.
Okay, when's he gonna talk no jutsu him?
Larry was already pulling off small-scale property scams. But now that he was friends with Emil, they began working together on more ambitious projects. And they weren't the only ones.
What?
In 1991, there were 9,388 bank robberies across the United States. One in every 4 of those, 2,355 to be exact, happened just here in the Los Angeles metro area.
Nah, this shit Gotham. I would not put my money in any bank. That shit's right under my mattress.
The next year, that number rose to 2,641.
Oh my
That's
god!
one robbery for every 45 minutes that a bank was open. Now, at the time, bank robberies were unsophisticated, generally not violent, and the perpetrators only profited between $1,500 and $2,000 on average.
I mean, at that point, is it not an infinite money glitch if you just go, hey, can I have that? Yeah, sure. Thanks.
However, they had become such an epidemic that banks began hiring armed security guards, using exploding die packs and trackers, implementing surveillance, randomized cash delivery schedules, and storing cash in individually locked compartments.
Put it on me, ain't nobody wants stinky dollar bills.
At the same time, the government cracked down by raising the minimum sentence for bank robbery to 25 years. And it worked. By 1995, bank robberies in LA had more than halved. But this also had an unintended side effect.
What?
It didn't stop the most determined criminals. It just forced them to adapt.
Oh, okay. The PvP server's gonna get a little bit more wackadoodle daisy.
With higher stakes and more obstacles, heists became more carefully planned, more ambitious, and much more violent.
Oh.
Criminals began aiming for much bigger scores, and if it meant avoiding 25 years in prison, they were willing to use hostage situations, intimidation tactics, military-grade weapons, and even deadly force. Larry Phillips and Emil Matasareanu were among this new breed of criminals. It's hard to say exactly when they committed their first armed robbery together. Some investigators believe that between 1990 and 1992,
Do you think at some point it's not just about getting the money, it's like the thrill of it? Like they're just having fun, like carrying the bags of cash and like
they carried out some small-scale heists. Small businesses, convenience stores, even a few cash couriers.
That's convenient.
Nothing too big, but enough to gain experience.
Oh, okay, they're just trying to get enough XP. I see.
When you're starting a business, it's no different. You need to start somewhere, gain experience, build credibility. That's where Odoo comes in.
Oh, do you?
Odoo's website builder lets you create a stunning mobile-friendly site in minutes, even if you have absolutely no technical skills. Just
I
pick
do.
a theme, add your logo, and Odoo's built-in AI tools will build everything for you. You can even generate engaging copy with ChatGPT, optimize for SEO, and translate your pages with just a click.
Odoo, generate this guy's balls exploding. Yeah, you. Guy wearing the black t-shirt and the gym pants.
From there, you can add effects, animations, and customize your layout with Odoo's simple drag-and-drop interface. Everything happens right on the page with zero code. And the best part, Odoo's first app is free for life with unlimited hosting and support. They even give you a free custom domain name for 1 year on top. When your website takes off, Odoo has an entire suite of fully integrated business tools, from CRM and e-commerce to accounting and HR. So you can start your business with one tool.
I'd be cool, HR, by the way. I'd let you go to the bathroom and sit in there for 40 minutes on your phone playing Angry Birds. I wouldn't hold it against you.
And Odoo grows with you. Go try Odoo's website builder for free by clicking the top link in the description, or scan this QR code to get started. Their first confirmed major robbery came in 1993, when they ambushed an armored car, escaping with tens of thousands of dollars. It was a perfect job, and it showed them that they could pull off something much bigger.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what's bigger than that? What's the biggest bank? Wells Fargo?
But 3 months later, their luck ran out. One day, while driving in a rented car, Larry and Emil were pulled over for speeding.
Amateur mistake. One crime at a time. Do not crime max.
It should have been a routine traffic stop, but Emil panicked and told the officer the car belonged to, quote, Dennis's mom.
I don't know how I got this car. It was just on the side of the road, and there was a sign on the back that said free car, so I thought I would take it, and now I'm driving it. Ah!
Dennis was Larry's fake name. So of course, when the officer ran the plates, and the records didn't match their story, he arrested them. Inside the car, the officer found 2 rifles, 2 handguns, 3,000 rounds of ammunition, smoke bombs, police scanners,
Nuclear bombs, maybe a couple of little monkeys that go ha 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 ha, and then they explode like from League of Legends. After that, they probably got some silly string in there. My God.
IEDs, 3 fake license plates, and 2 sets of full-body armor.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Damn, I can't even speak.
It didn't take a genius to figure out what they were up to. So both Larry and Emil got a short jail sentence for conspiracy to commit robbery.
They had all the pieces. Short.
But more importantly, their gear was confiscated. And now,
Oh no, now they gotta start over. The mods got them, man.
as convicted felons, they could no longer legally own guns.
Uh-oh.
This would have been
I'm sure they got the bombs legally. They really care about following the law in their stolen car.
the end for most criminals. But if anything, Larry and Emil's heists just got bigger, more complex, and much more violent. In 1995, they crossed a new line, killing a
What?
security guard to rob an armored vehicle.
Paul Blart!
By 1996, they had all but perfected the military-style robbery, robbing 2 Bank of America branches with overwhelming firepower, in and out within minutes.
So they robbed the bank and then they went to In-N-Out? Classic California.
Walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, they were ready for the biggest, but ultimately, most disastrous job of their careers.
Uh-oh.
By 1997, Larry and Emil had nailed down their next target, the Bank of America branch on
Bro, they gotta hate Bank of America. Is it the withdrawal fees? Do they have bad hours? They're XP farming the crap out of Bank of America!
Laurel Canyon Boulevard, the largest in North Hollywood. The location was perfect. The bank sat right beside a highway, with parking lots on both sides, giving them options for a getaway. To the
Okay.
west, there was a busy shopping mall full of civilians, potential human shields which would make police think twice before opening fire.
Uh-oh.
And to the east, there was a quiet residential neighborhood with streets that could serve as escape routes.
Where's the Verizon? Can they go rob them instead? I mean, they be asking me for so much money every month, and they just told me if I don't want any more scam calls, I gotta give them an extra 20 bucks. Come on, man. Do it for the people. Go to Verizon.
To prepare, they collected over 3,000 rounds of ammunition and enough weapons to outfit a small army. 3 fully automatic Norinco Type 56 rifles.
Is that not like a video game gun?
Chinese-made AK-47s fitted with 100-round drum magazines. A Bushmaster XM15 dissipator.
But what if they're shaved?
A smaller variant of the M16, modified for fully automatic fire. And finally, an HK-91 battle rifle, perfect for longer distance combat. Beneath their clothes, they wore Kevlar vests and heavy steel plates on their chest and back. Larry went a step further, wrapping his groin, arms, and legs in makeshift Kevlar padding.
Gotta save the balls.
By comparison, the average LAPD officer at the time wore this uniform.
Cool.
And carried 3 15-round magazines for a Beretta M92 FS.
Oh my god, they are so underleveled. This is insane. Like, this is like level 100 mob boss versus level 1 cop.
Which fires 9mm rounds. This is what they look like compared to an HK-91's bullets.
Okay, I guess size matters.
Needless to say, a Beretta wasn't going to do much. But as a last resort, even Larry and Emil brought one. Their plan was
Nah, that gotta be BM.
enter the bank, keep the civilians under control, force the teller to open the vault, stuff as much cash as possible into their bags, and walk out before the LAPD could even get there. 8 minutes.
Speed run.
In and out. It would
a
go
long
down
time,
on a
though.
Friday morning, when the bank's vault would be restocked with cash. Larry and Emil expected to walk away with at least $750,000.
Oh my god, that's like maybe a 20 pull in Uma.
This wasn't a reckless last-minute job. It was the result of years of careful planning, perfecting every detail, and preparing for every possible scenario.
Okay, but you gotta have like a cool line, right? Like, as soon as you go in and then they bring you into the money, you gotta look at the money and start stuffing it in and go, bada bing, bada boom.
But when the day finally came, nothing went according to plan.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. I don't know who I'm rooting for. Am I rooting for the criminals or not? Now I'm just confused.
At 9:16 a.m., Larry and Emil stepped out of a white Chevrolet Celebrity in the north parking lot of the Bank of America on Laurel Canyon Boulevard.
Thank God it wasn't a Subaru. That would be really bad PR.
They had just taken a phenobarbital, a medication typically used to prevent seizures, but they were using it to calm their nerves.
Ah, okay, they got that purple slurple.
They planned this heist in meticulous detail and sewn watch faces into their gear to time it perfectly. If everything went to plan, they'd be in and out in just 8 minutes. However, just as they were reaching the front door, Larry spotted a patrol car driving past Laurel Canyon. He wasn't sure if the officers had seen him, so he continued with their plan.
We just dress like this. Like, I mean, this is just my fashion sense.
We got a 211 in progress at Bank of America, Laurel Canyon. 2 armed suspects, full tactical gear. While the LAPD made their way to the scene, Larry grabbed a man using an ATM inside the bank, threw him to the floor, and fired into the ceiling.
He did all that at that moment?
At the same time, Emil shot the lock off the teller's security door and shoved the assistant manager towards the vault. But that's when he ran into an issue.
What?
Instead of a single massive vault, the bank had many individual lockboxes, each needing its own separate key.
Oh my god, this turned into a Resident Evil puzzle! No!
And to make things worse, the cash delivery they thought was scheduled every Friday morning had been randomized to increase security.
RNG. Damn it!
This would make the heist slower and much less profitable. 3 minutes in, Larry left Emil in the vault and stepped outside the bank. If those cops had seen him coming in, they could be in trouble. When he looked south, he saw them, waiting in the mall across the street. The LAPD was already on their way. This was going to get ugly. 8 minutes in, Emil had managed to stuff his duffel bag with $303,305.
I would have got more. I mean, I don't condone crime. Like, I wouldn't have done that, but like, I could have done better. That's not PR. That's not high score.
And, unknown to him, 3 die packs. On the outside, more than 20 LAPD officers had already taken defensive positions around the bank, covering the entire north and west sides. That's when Larry stepped outside again, raised his AK-47, and opened fire. All of a sudden, a violent gunfight had erupted in the middle of a busy road. The policemen took cover and tried to shoot back. Sometimes they even hit Larry directly, but from over 200 feet away, their 9mm rounds were practically useless against his body armor.
Oh my god, he's walking through.
You think you can stop me? No!
Meanwhile, his AK could pierce through cars and even some walls. For 4 straight minutes, Larry stood in the open, spraying hundreds of rounds across Laurel Canyon. Then Emil stepped out to join him, Together, they wounded
Duo
multiple
Q.
officers and even some civilians. But eventually, they had to make a run for it. First, Larry made a break to the parking lot while Emil lay down covering fire. And once he found a good position,
You know they think this shit felt like a movie. Like, let's be honest. Like, they're just like, go, go! I'll handle it! Keep running! Da, 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 da!
he did the same. However, moments after Emil stepped outside the bank, the 3 dye packs hidden inside his duffel bag exploded. And just as he was nearing the parking lot, an officer managed to graze him with a bullet just above the eye. At this point, 6 news helicopters were hovering above the bank. One of them captured Emil touching his head and leaving a bloody print on the hood of a car.
Which one?
When he told Larry about the dye packs, Larry assumed that the money had been stained, and in a snap decision, he left the bag behind. In reality, since the cash was still wrapped in plastic, most of it was fine. But either way, this heist wasn't about money anymore. It was about
What?
survival. It is unclear why Larry
Reload the save, guys, and just come on, you messed up. Everybody has those days.
and Emil did not attempt to drive away at this point. They may have thought their escape routes were blocked, or they may have just chosen to fight until the end. But for the next 20 minutes while Emil recovered from his wound, Larry was in a gunfight against hundreds of LAPD officers, all on his own.
Oh my
During
god.
this, he was hit at least 3 more times, including once on the side of his torso, where there was a gap in his body armor. And yet, Larry kept on fighting.
Okay, it really feels like the narrator wants him to win. And he never gave up. Bro was a freaking tank.
He was probably too high on adrenaline and phenobarbital to notice. Eventually, Larry ran out of ammunition for his AK, so he ran to their car, picked up the HK-91, and resumed the shooting.
How did he get to go to the stash? Bro went to the dev room.
While he was close to Emil, Larry tried to tell him something, but he was interrupted by a direct shot to his left arm.
He said,
Watch BerryCrepe on Twitch.tv.
Frustrated, Larry started firing at a news helicopter, recording him from afar. But thankfully, he missed every shot. The injury had left him unable to hold his rifle properly. Now he had to rest it on his forearm, which ruined his aim.
bro needed hacks.
The situation was already bad, but to make it worse, their car now had 2 flat tires from all the shooting. Despite this, Emil started driving off slowly, shooting officers through the window while Larry followed him on the ground.
From the window to the ball. Wait, from the window to the wall with the Kevlar on my balls.
While this was happening, Larry's body armor blocked 3 more shots, but one bullet did strike the front of his HK-91's magazine well, denting
Okay.
it and jamming it beyond repair.
How did they do that? Dude, they were using that Fallout stuff. What is it called? In Fallout, where you can like aim to a specific spot? Yeah, lucky shot. No. Bats! Bats, they were using bats.
When Larry tried to reload, the magazine was stuck. This was the moment that sealed Larry's fate.
Oh.
Now he had to discard the HK-91 and switch to the 3rd AK-47 he had brought.
We all got 3 of them, right? Everybody in chat got some backups.
But because it was illegally modified, this weapon was malfunctioning.
They did it illegally? No! I was rooting for you, but you were committing a crime? No!
Functioning after every few shots. In order to fix it, Larry had to remove and reinsert the magazine every time.
Damn.
Emil was now desperate to escape.
yeah, altering guns is way too far. I'm done.
He opened the passenger door for Larry to get inside, but for some reason he refused. Larry slammed the door shut and
Bro, can't you see I'm aura farming? Like, keep the door shut. Like, come on. Yeah, come on, man. You're ruining my moment, okay?
kept using the car for cover while Emil drove beside him. Eventually, they reached the north parking lot's exit and turned into the residential neighborhood east of the bank. Here, there was an abandoned police cruiser and semi-truck, where Larry took cover. Emil stayed on the road, driving slowly and expecting Larry to hop into the car soon, but he had moved to the other side of the truck. Neither one of them could see where the other was. When an officer fired at Emil, he sped toward the front of the semi-truck and didn't find Larry. He had returned to the back, expecting Emil to be there still. But no.
All units use caution. You've got a suspect on foot. Oh no. And what, in EU this would be on meter?
Some officers were already inside the neighborhood, and Emil had to speed forward in order to avoid them. From now on, Larry and Emil were completely on their own. At this point, Larry was caught between a semi-truck, a tall wooden fence,
and a hard place.
and two groups of police officers, with only a faulty AK-47 and a Beretta M92 FS strapped to his left shoulder. As he kept exchanging fire with...
Guys, I'm just gonna give him a little bit of advice. Like, take out the karambit, bro, and start running. You're bogging yourself down by having the gun out.
Police, he was shot twice in the back. One bullet struck his body armor, but the second missed the plating and hit his subclavian artery, causing severe bleeding and some serious pain. Because of this, Larry panicked. When his AK-47 jammed again, instead of simply reinserting the magazine, which would have fixed the issue, he repeatedly pulled the charging handle, jamming a bullet inside, and making it impossible to fix. Larry realized he was out of options, and he desperately took cover under the semi-truck. But the police officers had a clear line of sight on him, and they forced him out with 2 more shots.
He's getting isekai'd. Goodbye, Larry.
Severely injured, losing blood, and likely demoralized.
Looking like a fat freaking chud. Loser!
Larry crawled out from under the truck, pulled his Beretta from his shoulder holster, and fired one-handed at police. But the officers returned fire and hit Larry's hand, causing him to drop the gun. It was over. While this was happening, LA's SWAT team arrived on the scene and began commandeering police vehicles to look for Emil. He was deep inside the neighborhood, driving a Chevrolet Celebrity with 2 flat tires and a leaky gas tank. Going back for Larry was simply not an option anymore. But if Emil wanted to...
Dude, he's doing the Yumi build. He just went straight to mid and did not give a fuck.
Escape, he needed a new vehicle. While finding his way through the neighborhood, Emil forced a car to stop in front of him. But the driver, seeing a masked juggernaut emerging from a bullet-ridden car,
mashed into him, just straight up twisted metal.
Understandably, kept backing up. When Emil pointed his AK at him, he turned around and sped away.
Goodbye!
Emil stayed on the move, looking for other vehicles.
Okay, I'm gonna be for real, that would have been me.
And this time, when he came across a pickup truck, he didn't negotiate. Instead, he fired his AK through their 2 windshields, breaking glass into the driver's face and grazing his head with a bullet.
Oh my god!
Thankfully, the driver reacted quickly and abandoned the truck in the middle of the road, with the door open. Immediately,
He said that so disappointed. The narrator like, L move. Like, come on, at least close the door.
Emil parked his Chevy beside it, tossed his remaining gear on the bed, and climbed into the driver's seat. But when he tried to start the car, he couldn't.
It was manual. And he was American!
Driver had taken out the keys from the ignition, so he crouched down and tried to jump-start it. While he was doing this, though, Emil was spotted by a SWAT team, who parked right beside him. Emil jumped out of the truck just in time, seconds before bullets started tearing through the driver's seat.
Oh my god!
He took cover again behind the Chevy and began spraying the SWAT team with bullets. Whenever they found a moment to fire back, his body armor kept him safe.
Dude, is body armor that tough? Like, he's got like 9 layers of armor. Like, it's just bing, 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 bing.
This went on for the next 2.5 minutes. But eventually, Emil ran out of ammunition for his AK-47. So he had to take a few seconds to grab his XM15 dissipator from the...
He got a whole CS loadout. It's not even funny. He went to go grab for his aquamarine revenge.
back of the pickup truck. This gave the SWAT team a few moments to breathe, and one of the officers noticed a gap between the tires of the 3 vehicles. He had an angle on Emil's legs, and
Guys, this is why you always get an angle if you're playing any shooter. It's OP. W angles.
they were unprotected. When Emil started firing again, the officer laid down on the ground and took a precise shot.
Let me try. Let me try.
Wait. This is gonna be so cool. Put some cool music. Oh, whoop, I keep going too far.
Hitting Emil in the calf. Then he took another one, and another one.
And another one.
Emil had taken multiple direct hits to the legs, but he was still fighting back. In fact, he laid down on the ground himself and started shooting the SWAT team too. But this was his final mistake. Because immediately, a bullet struck his arm and he dropped his XM15. Now unarmed, Emil raised his hands
I mean, yes! I'm sorry.
and surrendered. Unfortunately, for a few moments, the SWAT officers were behind cover and unaware that Emil had surrendered. So they continued firing.
I do not see. I do not. No.
Hitting his legs several more times. Eventually, though, they ceased fire and put Emil on his stomach. Concerned that Emil might have a bomb or another weapon, one officer pressed his rifle against the back of Emil's head to prevent him from moving. The front of the barrel was so hot from all the firing that it seared Emil's skin. Larry was dead, and now Emil was finally in handcuffs. But the LAPD had received over 17 calls of different incidents from within the neighborhood.
My cat's stuck in the tree. Can you get over here quick?
So at this point, they suspected that a third gunman was still at large. Because of this, officers refused to move Emil. And even when a group of medics got to the scene, the officers told them to go away.
Get out of here! Leave!
And so Emil stayed there, in the middle of the road, with barbiturates in his system, thinning his blood. After
That's a barbiturate move.
56 minutes, he bled out because of the bullet wounds in his legs.
Oh.
The area remained on lockdown until the LAPD concluded that there was never a third gunman. At 11:30 p.m., North Hollywood shootout came to an end. That day, over 300 LAPD and SWAT officers responded to the scene.
Oh my
12 of them,
god!
along with 8 civilians, were wounded.
Oh!
At least 11 bullets made contact with Larry's skin, and Emil had 29 bullet wounds in his legs, plus
Holy!
1 in the forehead.
My leg!
I started to sound like the guy from SpongeBob. I did not sound like him at all.
But their armor absorbed countless hits. More than 2,000 bullets were fired in those 44 minutes, making
Holy crap!
Someone call heavy!
it almost a miracle that there were only 2 casualties, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Matasareanu. After the shootout, the LAPD began an investigation into Larry and Emil. They discovered more rifles, ammunition, armor, and even a makeshift bomb-making site.
What?
At the time, most officers carried only 9mm pistols or .38 caliber revolvers.
You guys remember we watched that body cam where that guy made a bomb out of Legos?
Like, what the hell? And then they got him and he was like, I just do it for fun. Like, I wasn't gonna do anything with it.
And a shotgun, which were not effective at long range and could not penetrate body armor. Because of this, there was already some debate about whether police forces should be better armed. But
Yeah, I mean, just give him like a, what is it called? I always forget the name of this gun. The one from Gears of War that comes down from the sky. That one. No, not a bazooka. That's from Worms.
The Hammer of Dawn. Yeah. Yeah, the Hammer of Dawn.
few steps have been taken to realize this. Most of the North Hollywood shootout was captured on camera by reporters and news helicopters. When millions of people watched two heavily armed criminals taking on hundreds of LAPD and SWAT officers live on television,
They thought it was freaking awesome, and they made some pizza in the oven and got some popcorn out the microwave. Let's be for real.
it became abundantly clear. American police forces were severely under-equipped, and it was time for change.
Listen to this. Early on in this gunfire, the officers apparently were outgunned, so they resorted to nearby gun stores to go in there and find more powerful weapons.
They actually
And give us all you got.
borrowed weapons from a gun store.
As a result, sweeping reforms regarding equipment and tactics took place in police departments all across the United States. They began issuing
Yeah, I thought you weren't allowed to buy mid-round. That's a good point.
AR-15s and other long-range semi-automatic rifles, as well as improved ammunition. In some extreme cases, they even authorized the use of armor.
Okay, am I mentally ill, or do those look like League of Legends abilities? Like, this one's 3 bullets in a cone that people use to just farm creeps, and this is like an ultimate, like, Caitlyn ability.
Piercing rounds. Officers' body armor was also improved, with some departments adopting metal or ceramic trauma plates, and even ballistic helmets like those used by SWAT teams. Although this incident was not the sole cause of police militarization, it was a major turning point.
Yeah.
Today, American police forces are far better prepared for situations like the North Hollywood shootout.
Is the narrator trying to say don't do this at home?
Let's hope nothing like it happens ever again.
Okay, well, now he's testing me.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. If you're new here, please go buy this stream to see BerryCrepe, or use code Berry for 10% off your gamer subs order. I would super appreciate it. I'm hoping to one day get Apple back up. So thank you. I hope you have a great evening. Goodbye, YouTube.
Berry out.